Hi there, welcome to the channel. My name is Arthur. This is the Idea Lab, and this will be the inaugural video on the channel. So what basically is happening on this channel is that I look at different business ideas in Zimbabwe and then break them apart into like a jigsaw puzzle to understand the money mechanisms behind those particular businesses. In this first video, I'll be looking at one particular business that is making $1,000 a week selling bulk water. In the upcoming videos, I'll be looking at other businesses which I've already started to look in. So if you're an entrepreneur or buff or somebody who's interested in new business ideas to execute in Zimbabwe, this channel might just be of interest to you and hopefully launch you on your next business idea. So bulk water is huge in Zim at the moment, especially in Harare. This is because of the water problems that have dogged the city perennially for many years now. Harare has got many problems. It's got administrative problems, as you may have seen in the media. It's got water pollution problems at the sources where this water is drawn from. Harare has got financing problems. Harare has got rapid growth problems. Just about every new suburb that is coming up in Harare right now is off-grid regarding pipe water. People are relying on hand-dug wells. People are relying on boreholes, drilled boreholes, which in many cases run out because the water table is just overburdened by so many people, going for drilling in a given area. This is because the yards are small. 300 square meters, 600 square meters. So before you know it, everybody's got a borehole and water is running out. So this is where this business comes in. This business is driven to address a problem that has been like this for many years in Harare. So the idea is basically to abstract water from a certain abstraction point and then deliver it to the customer, and you get paid cash on delivery. That's basically what the business is about. Get water from point A and go and sell it in point B. Usually water is abstracted in locations just outside the city. In Harare, one of the popular locations are in the northeast and northwest of Harare. So this water is sold to domestic users, it is sold to industrial users, it is sold to road construction companies, it is sold to farming community, people with agricultural farms and plots who may need additional water. So the market is quite huge, but for the most part, you would find these trucks running to domestic users all around the city, delivering water on a regular basis. So how does this business work? 5 to 10 ton trucks are used in the business. These are flatbed trucks which are mounted with tanks, 2,500 by 2 tanks, which is a total capacity on each truck of 5,000 liters. In most cases, this is the minimum capacity. In fact, according to the numbers which we will look into in this video, this is a requirement that you have at least 5,000 liter capacity on a truck. So these are not brand new trucks. These are mechanically sound trucks, which are usually bought, pre-loved on the open market and deployed in this particular business. On the truck, you would also need a pump. You would also need a hose. So these are accessories or equipment that will then be used once you get to the customer site to pump water into the customer's reservoirs, which are usually bulk tanks, 5,000 liters, 2,000 liters at the site in domestic locations. You would also need a crew for this business. In many cases that I've come across, the driver by himself can do this job, can drive the truck, go to the customer site and deliver the goods without needing any other assistance. But in some cases, some companies, some businesses also add an assistant who would go with the driver and help on site. But it looks like this business can run with just the driver himself, running with the truck, do the drop-offs and come back to site for more water. So in order to abstract water, you would also need some paperwork, some regulatory paperwork. The government department in Zimbabwe that deals with this aspect is ZINWA, which is a statutory body. So you will need a permit from ZINWA to regularize your abstraction of water from a given location. Now, this is very interesting because it doesn't matter if you're getting water from your own property, whether it's a farm or your plot where you have got a dam, a river, or a borehole drilled. You will still need a Zinua permit. So once the business is set up, this is how it goes. Marketing is usually done on social media. People do flyers as well to just make the business known out there. And when the orders come in, they are usually consolidated into one list of orders with all the locations where the vehicle will be doing the deliveries. And the driver will then go out with the orders and do the delivery, and then they are paid cash on the spot. And then they return to base and do a refill and return. So the cycle is repeated again and again, over and over again. Now let's look at the business problems. This business, like all businesses, has got its own fair share of problems. One of the problems are truck breakdowns. So this is directly related to the type of vehicle or the quality or the condition of the vehicle that is deployed for this business. If you use a truck that has got its own problems already because water is heavy, it's likely going to break down a lot, and you're going to have to go after it to to recover it by all means. So one of the ways of mitigating this problem is to use a decent enough truck which is mechanically sound to be able to withstand heavy loads of water, because water is heavy. If you are carrying 5,000 liters of water, you are basically carrying 5,000 kgs, which is 5 tons. So you'll find that on the market, most of the trucks, they are not fancy trucks. They are not shiny objects. They are basically good, sound, mechanically solid trucks that they use for this business. So when an entrepreneur goes out to the market to look for a vehicle for this business, they're basically looking for a truck that is solid. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be solid to be able to handle heavy loads in order to avoid repeated breakdowns. Another problem in Harare is traffic. Traffic has been gradually becoming a major problem. Despite the road construction, the road expansions that have been happening, which have certainly helped to reduce traffic, it is still a problem. So you would find that if you have to cut across town, 25 kilometers across, to go to a delivery point from the obstruction point, you're going to have to encounter a lot of traffic. This is common along Borodale Road. When you're coming into town, you're going to have to encounter a lot of traffic along Borodale Road. Whichever route you take, basically you're going to be stuck in traffic at some point. So this lengthens the turnaround time of the truck, where it has to go to deliver the 5,000 liters and come back to base to get another load. This is going to also increase the fuel consumption, because the truck is going to spend a lot of time just idling in traffic, and that alone increases fuel consumption for those who are who know something about how trucks or vehicles operate when they're idling. So these are issues, problems with the business that are directly related to the increase in traffic. Being a big truck, heavy laden with water, is not able to maneuver as quickly as small cars do. So that just adds to a tiring day for the operator, the driver, and all the other things that come with it. So traffic is a big issue in Harare at the moment. And then you've got cancelled orders as well. This is a cash on delivery business for the most part. So it suffers from the same setbacks that are suffered by all businesses that are involved with a cash on delivery model. So you could get to the gate and then the customer may turn you down once you're already at the gate, but you have traveled to get to that point. There's also a problem, which is low rainfall. For example, what happened in 2023-2024 season, where there was the El Nino drought. One will sit back and say, wow, that's an opportunity because it's going to increase demand for water. It's true that it will increase demand for water, but at the same time, it will affect the abstraction points where the business is sourcing its water. For example, when I was talking to one business owner in this industry during that season, they were telling me that they could not deliver water after 2 p.m. because the abstraction points were low. So when you've got a well or you've got a borehole, at about 2 p.m., the water table just drops because it will be so hot. So you are not able to fulfill orders after that time. So that's a problem for the business that can arise due to low weather, low rainfall in a particular season. So now let's look at the cost of running this business. Water can be a cost of running the business, which is part of the cost of goods sold. This is in the case where the business is actually buying wholesale water for resale. There are abstraction points that sell water to bulk water businesses. In other words, what in this particular model, what you have is just a truck, and you also have to source wholesale water, and then you're just a go-between. In other words, you go to the wholesaler of water, you buy water at wholesale, and then you go and resell to the end customer. There's also a model where the business actually owns the abstraction points, like I mentioned earlier, where you have got a plot or a farm, and you have got you've drilled a borehole at the farm, or you've got a dam, or you've got a river that passes through the farm or the plot. So in the case where you are actually buying water, that could be a cost to that automatically becomes a cost to the business where you are sourcing the water from. This can also be rented land. If it's rented, then you've got a fixed cost of the land where you are renting and sourcing the water from. Another cost for the business is wages. Wages can be paid on a weekly basis. They can also be paid on a monthly basis. Generally, drivers in this industry are paid around about $400 per month. That's the cost of having a driver on the business. Another cost would be fuel. Fuel is a definite cost, depending on the distance travel from the abstraction point to where you're dropping off the water. There's that cost of fuel, which we'll look at when we get into the numbers. Then you have got toll gates as well, depending on your abstraction location. If, for example, if you're abstracting water from the Mazoe area, each time you come into town in Harare, you have to pay for toll gates coming in and going out. So that would be a cost to the business. But in other locations where you don't have a toll gate, obviously that cost is not there. Then you could also have chemicals. If the water would require some chemical treatment, then there will be that additional cost of running the business where you have to treat the water with chemicals. So in most cases, when the water, it depends now. Let me say it depends on the purpose of the water. If it's potable water, it has to be tested that it's good for human consumption, or else chemicals will need to be added. But this is guided by the experts on what use the water would be suitable for. Then you have got the regulator licenses and permits. These are usually paid on a yearly basis, but they are also tied to the amount of water that you abstract. So the more water you abstract, the more the fees or the license you have to pay, because this is measured by the volume of consumption or of abstraction. So this becomes a variable cost to the business. Then there's also maintenance, where you have to maintain the vehicles, to look after the vehicles, the repairs and maintenance. It's also part of the cost to the business. And that's about all on the cost. But obviously, as with all businesses, there are other costs. These are the major ones that you would find in this business. So now let's do the numbers for this business. Let's do the number crunching. First of all, how much money is made is based on the volume that is sold. So I've made a number of assumptions here, which are on the conservative side. Number one, that the truck carries 5,000 liters at a time, and that also for 20,000 liters will be sold per day. Now, 20,000 liters, I understand from the industry, this is more or less the low season amount of sales, 20,000 liters. So from a 5,000 liter truck, you need to do 4 trips in order to sell 20,000 liters. I'm told that when it's high season, you can sell as many as 40,000 liters, and this is guided by a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. day. Obviously, you would sell more if you were to go beyond that those working hours, because then you continue delivering right through the night. So the assumption here is that 20,000 liters sold per day, based on 4 trips of 5,000 liters each. So what it means that in a day you would make $200, $50 per trip times 4 trips, which is $200. And for that round trip, I've calculated I've given a generous distance, assuming that someone is coming from northeast of Harare to deliver somewhere around the center of town, the avenues area. I calculated the round trip to be about 45 kilometers. So using that number, 45 kilometers, and also assuming that the truck consumes 1 liter per every 10 kilometers traveled, it means that the truck will need 18 liters of diesel per day. Using today's cost of diesel in Zimbabwe, which is $1.61 per liter, that will come out to about $29 per day, or $29 to run the 180 kilometers for the 20,000 liters. So what's happening here is that for you to deliver 20,000 liters, you would need to do 4 trips. You would also need to travel 180 kilometers in total with a truck that is consuming 10 liters per kilometer traveled. That will be equivalent to 18 liters of fuel that is bought at $1.61. That is diesel, bought at $1.61 per liter. That will amount to $29 cost in fuel. So if the driver is being paid $400 a month, it also means that the driver is being paid about $16.17 per day. So then you would add the $29 for fuel and to the $16 for the driver per day. That will leave you with about $154 from the $200 that you are making per day. So roughly thereabout would say the business makes $150 profit after all the expenses for the day have been removed. So obviously here we have ignored any toll gates. We are assuming that the obstruction point is within the city limits where it doesn't have to go through any toll gates. Okay, let's look at the weekly numbers. Assuming a 6-day week running Monday to Saturday, that will be 6 times $150, which we are making per day after the fuel and driver expenses, which will leave us with $900 profit per week. The total amount for the week would have been $1,200 before we remove the fuel and the driver. Mind you, these expenses furthermore do not include maintenance, licenses, and recovery. So how much per month does this business make? That will be $900, which we are making per week, times 4 weeks in a month, which will be equivalent to $3,600 per month. Annually, using 52 weeks in a year, the business will make $46,800 out of the 52 weeks in a year. Obviously, here we have ignored certain costs that are going to kick in, like maintenance, as I mentioned, repair and maintenance, or any recovery that would be needed. So as more time is spent running the business, for example, if you're looking at a period of a year, some of these expenses will have to kick in. At some point, you will need to recover a truck. At some point, you will need to repair. You obviously need to service the vehicle. So these expenses will eat into the $47,000 that I've mentioned here, which at this point only excludes the driver wages for the year. It excludes the fuel expenses for the year. So overall, after having taken into account all these things that I've mentioned, the expenses, the business is still profitable. You are still going to make money with this business. It appears to me from my numbers that the business is able to replace a truck every year of running. This opens the doors for scale. You can also scale this business by adding more capacity to the truck. For example, if you are using an 8-ton truck, you may carry more than just 5 tons of water by adding, another 2,500 liters, so that you have got 3 tanks of 2,500. So there's a possibility, there's room for the business to scale, but good business acumen will lead you to think about how to scale the business, because when you add more trucks, it adds also certain cost to the business. For example, more drivers. It also means more expenses for maintenance, licensing, and all the other things. So there's a sweet spot in the business. Some people are content just running a single truck, which brings them $1,000 a week. Maybe it's a side business, and then they are happy to have it that way. So let me know what you think about this business. Would you yourself get into it? People will say, well, the truck, how do I get a truck to get started? Look, people are buying vehicles that are worth $14,000, $15,000. That's just about the amount you need to buy a truck to get started. So, in as far as what is happening in Zimbabwe now, it doesn't appear to me as this is a barrier to entry, because people are already spending this amount of money on luxury goods, on luxury vehicles, which do not bring any returns. So yeah, it's something to think about. Let me know if you yourself get into this business. Would you encourage someone to get into? What did I leave in this analysis, in this assessment of the business? Looking forward to seeing you on the next one when I'm doing the next business. Take care. Cheers.